Session, I'm going to see transport layer, which is of module 2. As you all know, there are some responsibilities for the transport layer and its associated protocol. So as all of us know, the main responsibility of the transport layer is multiplexing and demultiplexing, and the second one is reliable data transfer, third one is flow control, and the last one is congestion control. These are the prime responsibilities of the transport layer, and it is situated at actually first one is application layer, second one is session presentation layer, third one is session layer, then comes transport layer. So it is in the fourth layer from the top, and yes, uh, first one is application layer and the second one is transport presentation layer, then session layer, then comes transport layer, then network layer, then data link layer, next comes physical layer. These are the 7 layers, as you all know. So if you take the protocols, associated protocols of transport layer, then it is UDP and TCP. As you all know, UDP is connectionless protocol and TCP is connection oriented protocol. uh, yes, so these are the contents of our second module, and in this session, as we have seen, we'll be seeing multiplexing and the demultiplexing, how the transport layer services the OSI model, and along with its protocols. So it provides logical communication between application process running on different hosts. Okay, so if you take network layer, it provides logical communication between the two hosts. If you take the transport layer, it provides logical communication between the two application processes running on different hosts. So every host will be having 2 or 3 processes running simultaneously in it. So from one process to the other process, how the see, if you want to send mail from your system to the your friend system, so in your system also 3 4 processes will be running simultaneously. In your friend system also 2 3 processes, like he would have opened a mail, would have opened like a word document, or he would have opened some file transfer interface. So 2 3 processes will be running. So your mail should get the data, your mail process should get the data, and it has to deliver it to a friend's mail process. So what happens, there's a communication between the two processes, two mail process. So which layer helps us to communicate between the two process running in different host? It is transport layer. Okay, the transport protocols run in n systems. Sender side, so we said the main responsibility of the transport layer is multiplexing and demultiplexing. So what is multiplexing is, at the sender side, if the messages are break down into segments and passed to the network layer, then it is called multiplexing. So what is demultiplexing then? At the receiver side, if the different segments are reassembled into a single message and passed to the application layer, then it is nothing but demultiplexing. So more than one transport protocol is available to the applications. Yes, it is TCP and the UDP. Next, transport versus network layer. What's the difference between these two? So as I already said, network layer helps us to communicate logically between two hosts, whereas transport layer helps us to communicate between processes. Next, internet transport layer protocols. As we said, there are 2 protocols. One is TCP and the other one is UDP. TCP is always reliable in order delivery, and it also provides these 3 things, that is congestion control, flow control, and the connection setup. If you take the next protocol, that is UDP, as we all know, it is unreliable, unordered delivery UDP. It doesn't give guarantee that it will send the data to the receiver successfully. it just provides best effort service. Okay, so service is not available in the UDPR. It delay guarantees and all it will not give, and bandwidth guarantee also the UDP is not going to give us. So connectionless demultiplexing. So connectionless in the sense it is always UDP. Connection oriented, if I talk, it is always TCP. So connectionless demultiplexing, how it works, we'll see. It creates socket with port numbers as we saw in the application layer, like UDP socket programming and TCP socket programming we have seen. The same concept is said once again here. That is, it creates the datagram. Since it is a UDP protocol, the application layer creates a socket called datagram socket, which is equal to new datagram socket of 12534, and it creates two sockets. So my socket 1 is equal to, then my socket 2 is equal to, they have named UDP socket identified by two tuples. How? By the socket, one is through destination IP address and the destination port number. So from one process to the other process in the destination, how the data is delivered is with the help of the two addresses, that is destination IP address and the destination port number. So with the help of the IP, destination IP address, it will go to the destination host, and with the help of the port number, destination port number, the data will be delivered to a particular process, particular destination process. When host receives UDP segment, it checks destination port number in the segment. It directs UDP segment to the socket with that port number. Whatever I said, they said meant here. IP datagram with different source IP address and or source port numbers directed to the same socket. Okay, same thing is said. Then comes the next chapter, that is multiplexing and demultiplexing. So what is demultiplexing? Just now I said delivering received segments to correct socket. Before that, what we have to do, we have to gather, gather different segments, and we have to combine it into a single message, and we have to deliver it to the correct socket at the receiver side. That is demultiplexing at the receiver side. Then what is multiplexing at the sender side? It is gathering data from the multiple sockets and enveloping data with the header. Okay, gather the data from the multiple sockets, and you have to attach the header and send it to the network layer. This is what is multiplexing. Okay, so see here the application layer, and the yellow color thing is process. Yellow color is process. So how demultiplexing works? So host receives IP datagrams. Each datagram, so destination host is receiving the IP datagram. Each datagram has source IP address as well as the destination IP address. So each datagram carries one transport layer segment. Each segment has source destination port number. So destination host receives the IP datagrams and it checks for the port number. So with the help of the port number, it will deliver the data to a particular process. Host uses IP addresses and the port numbers to direct segments to appropriate socket, as I said. So this is connectionless demultiplexing. Yes, connection oriented demultiplexing. Excuse me. So what are the different addresses required for the TCP to deliver the data from one process to the other process? Is 4 addresses are required. If you take UDP, it required only 2 addresses. One is the destination IP address and the other was destination port number. Whereas in the TCP, it requires 4 things. One is source IP address, source port number, destination port number, and the destination IP address. Receiving host uses all 4 values to direct segment to appropriate socket, as we said. Server host may support many simultaneous TCP sockets. A server host supports so many sockets, but client will be having only one socket, which we have seen in the application layer. Web servers have different sockets for each connecting client. Next is connectionless UDP. Connectionless transport, that is about UDP protocol we are going to see. So as we already said, if you are going to use user datagram protocol, which is one of the protocols of this transport layer, Here what happens, no need of the connection establishment. No need of connection establishment, just it requires. So UDP doesn't require connection establishment. Just if UDP wants to send the data, it will just send the data, and it will not expect any acknowledgement. It will not establish any connection. Just sending the data, and it will go for the next data. After sending one data, it will go to the next data. Only one thing is, it just provides error detection mechanism, less security it is providing. Other than that, nothing is provided by the UDP. Okay, so often some for streaming multimedia applications, when this UDP protocol is used, is for any loss tolerant applications. If your application can tolerate the loss, then you can go for the UDP. For example, multimedia applications such as with video conferencing, Zoom, Google Meet and all can use UDP, because one or two words, if one or two words is misses during the communication, it doesn't it is not going to get a greater impact. Okay, so the loss tolerant applications can use this UDP, and rate sensitive applications also can use this UDP. Other UDP uses DNS, and SNMP also uses this UDP. So this is the UDP segment structure, that is segment format. See, it consists of just, it's very simple, it's just 5 fields. One is source port number, destination port number, length, checksum, and the data. So as we said, for the UDP protocol we need only two address parameters. One is source port number and the other one is destination port number. Then length is the length of the data in bytes, and the checksum, it helps to detect the error in the data which you are sending. The data field consists of, as usual, application data. So with this we'll end up this session. Bye, see you.